Here's a segment from a recent Gun Talk radio episode. You can listen to all the Gun Talk radio podcasts however you tune in, or check out guntalk.com for more. All right, let me talk about this story out of New York because it's fascinating. When the Supreme Court issued the Bruen decision back in June, I guess it was, which said that New York's scheme of issuing, or actually not issuing, concealed carry permits was unconstitutional because they required you to show proper cause. In other words, are you worthy of exercising your Second Amendment rights? And we will decide. And what they decided was that almost no one was, so no one got a permit. So the Supreme Court said, yeah, no, that's not constitutional. You can't require people to show good cause. And there were a lot of other things as part of it. So Kathy Hochul, the interim governor, she whipped up the legislature, got them to pass a whole bunch of new gun control laws. And the amazing part to me was how incredibly arrogant they are, the gun banners. Because she went out and said, she was laughing about it and said, we are going to do this. Basically, she said, the Supreme Court says we can't require you to show good cause. Okay, we're going to require you to show that you are of good moral character. Really? Oh, further than that, we're going to make the entire state a quote-unquote insensitive place. Because the Supreme Court said, yes, you can make guns off limits in sensitive places. But in the Bruen decision, Clarence Thomas writing the decision, said, but you can't make like Times Square a sensitive place. I mean, it's like, okay, you could do maybe police stations, courthouses, maybe hospitals, and call those sensitive places. But don't go out there thinking you could make like huge areas, sensitive places, and they're off limits to guns. Well, that's exactly what New York did. So first of all, yes, Times Square, boom, sensitive place. Any private business is a sensitive place. So guns are banned in all private businesses unless they put a sign up that said guns are welcome, which is, of course, 180 degrees. It should be. If you want to make your business a gun-free zone, you have that ability. Put up a sign that says gun-free zone. But it's not for the state to do that. They also did it for all churches. And it went on and on. And so judge looked at that and said, yeah, Judge Sotheby. He says, yeah, no. No on the sensitive places, no on the moral character. Oh. And they said, you also have to submit your passwords and all the information on all your social media accounts so we can go see what kind of person you are. He said, yeah, no, you can't do that. So he did a temporary restraining order, blocked most of the provisions of the new New York gun control law. And then he gave them 3 days to file an appeal, and they have. So I think we start again tomorrow, Monday, and see where we go with this. I mean, I think his TRO is going to stand. It's probably going to go back to the Second Circuit, probably end up back at the Supreme Court. But it's just fascinating to see what happens with this. This is Hurricane Bruen, is what this is. Hurricane Bruen, you're just seeing the first bands come in. You're seeing some waves hit the beach, but you haven't seen the surge yet. California, forget it. Assault weapon bans, forget it. You can't do that. Bans on magazines that hold more than 10 rounds, nope. That's going to be ruled unconstitutional everywhere. It's already happened in Maryland, California. We're waiting on Washington State, some other places. Hurricane Bruen is going to devastate the gun ban movement. And it's one of the reasons that, of course, along with the Roe v. Wade decision from the Supreme Court, that the two cases together, that's why so many liberals are now saying, the Supreme Court has just gone crazy. No one said that when they simply were making up laws that didn't exist, or making up rights that didn't exist. And the point of fact, what the Supreme Court has said is, look, If you want it to be a law, then you need to go pass a law. In the case of the Second Amendment, we have a constitutional amendment. So if you want if you want the Second Amendment to not be law, then you have the ability, you can start the process to repeal it. There have been a few people on the gun ban side who've said, yeah, okay, we're going to start repealing, we're going to start the process. We're going to repeal the Second Amendment. Well, no, it's never going to happen. No. But at least that would be an honest approach instead of just saying we're going to ignore the Second Amendment, or we think it is so wrong, we're going to just pass laws that are unconstitutional, and then we're going to enforce them, and we're going to put people in jail on the basis of these unconstitutional amendments. Oh, speaking of people putting people in jail, Joe Biden just pardoned everyone convicted of marijuana possession on a federal charge. I wonder what that's going to do to those people when it comes to buying a gun. Because, of course, it's not legal to buy a gun if you are a marijuana user. That's so on the 4473. We'll have to stay tuned for that one. We're not sure what's going to happen, but it's going to be fun to watch.